here we are. We're right back at it. Let's see if anyone wins another medal of I believed it was going to happen. So the U.S. Senate, earlier today, the U.S. House, or I guess earlier yesterday, the U.S. House passed a bill by a huge majority. Only one representative voted against it, a guy from Louisiana, basically ordering the release of all the Epstein documents. The Senate passed the same bill by majority consent, not even taking a vote, just aye. So now it goes to the president. Now, whether or not the president signs it is a different story. Whether or not, I don't even want to talk about that part. It's a veto-proof majority. It's likely going to sign it. But this is interesting because what we see is an opportunity to, I almost want to say, move on. So in no way, shape, or form take this to mean that I think this isn't a big deal, that I think finding out what kind of people were in bed with Epstein isn't a big deal. Not at all. I think I want everyone to know everything, put it all out in the open. But I am getting sick and tired of one singular issue being a political talking piece of both parties. It's the same. I won't say it's the same thing, but it's similar to how for 4 years the Democrats constantly talked about January 6th. Okay. Nothing that we do today is going to change what happened on January 6th, 2021. Nothing that we do today is going to change what happened to these victims in 1982 or 84 or 99 or stuff like that. Should everyone involved be rooted out, root and stem? Absolutely. Kick them all out, throw them in jail, throw them under the prison. Let's do it. I will help lead the charge. But hogging up the government, slowing down progress in the government to get what may end up being, we don't know for sure, but may end up being a big old nothing burger, depending on what actually gets released. Seems like a bad idea to me. Now, we do know that in the bill, it does provide AG Pam Bondi with the statutory authority to redact any national security stuff, anything like that. There are other stuff that we're not going to see. And obviously, I don't really want to even go into national security. Okay, I don't understand what could be national security. There's really only 3 or 4 things that I feel like could rise to that level. One of the victims is a high-level governmental person here in the U.S. or internationally. 2, one of the victims is a member of the intelligence community here in the U.S. or internationally. 3, one of the perpetrators is a high-level government official here in the U.S. or internationally. And 4, one of the perpetrators is a or a member of the intelligence community here in the U.S. or internationally. Those are the only things I can even think could theoretically or technically rise to the level of national security. Does that mean they shouldn't be released? No. I think everything should come out. Now, to a point, actually, there are some things that I do not think should come out. And I'll give you all examples. So some of the things that we're going to see most likely redacted are due to 2 things. One, the grand jury testimony under Federal Rules of Criminal Procedure 6E. So what this does is it basically says that stuff that's discussed during the grand jury must remain secret. And it must remain secret so that people who are involved with the grand jury, whether members or attorneys or defendants or anything, and anyone involved, they need to be able to not have their identity out there, questions, things like that. They deserve privacy because they are doing their civic duty to create federal indictments. So that's one of the things we'll see. And that's actually what prevented the Florida judge in August, I think, from releasing a bunch of the Epstein stuff, that he was bound, or I think she was bound by this federal rule of criminal procedure to prevent the release of those documents. The second is the Crime Victims' Rights Act. So we have this act that basically says victims have an enforceable right to privacy and protection, and they can force the courts and governmental bodies to redact their information so that, let's say Jane over here is, she's now a successful businesswoman. She's out there going hither and thither, doing meetings, just succeeding in life. Okay. And she's tired. She doesn't want Epstein being brought up around her. She's moved on. Well, it is her right as a victim to not have to be brought back into the sunlight here. There are several victims that have come forth, and they have a right to say what they want to say. But we shouldn't force other victims to be dragged back into the sunlight. And that's what this Crime Victims' Rights Act does. So those are the two things that are really going to, in my opinion, probably redacted. Now, again, I don't really know what kind of national security stuff there's going to be in this. I can't really, beyond those four examples, I can't really think of anything that would really rise to that level. But we all have our opinions on this, and I'm sure I'll hear several in the comments. But I do want to say, as we end the video here, I do want to say this is a very hot topic. This is a very emotionally jarring topic. If you cannot comment in a way that you do not just completely denigrate people, I don't care who it is, honestly, then maybe you just drop that like and move on. But I do want to hear from y'all. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, and let me know your thoughts. Peace out, guys.